Welcome to Season 3 of Martial Arts Explorer, exploring practical technique as found in classical martial arts of all styles. I'm Scott Combs. In a carryover from last year, we're finishing our tour de force through Tommy from Singapore's email, and we've arrived at the central question. Tommy writes, "It has been a hot debate between a fellow martial arts friend and myself over this question. What are the best training styles for a young child to take and learn over his growing up period?" This friend of mine suggested karate, for its rigorous training, both physical and mental, and the katas, and then Aikido for its self-defense concepts, for a well-balanced mix of attack and defense applications. Whereas, in my humble opinion, I think the following charts out for a trained fighter during his childhood years in the making. 1. Tai Chi, for chi and mental and physical strengthening, as well as defense applications. 2. Jiu-Jitsu, for groundwork, counterattacks, and submissions. 3. Boxing. Only basics should be required in order to throw an effective punch, conditioning, etc. 4. Wrestling. Takedowns and in situations where you can't strike, such as when your hands are bound or for legal reasons. So, there it is. The central question of our time. We're throwing it out to the audience. Tommy really needs to know. What are the best styles and why? Send your email to explorer@martialartsexplorer.tv. Come on, help a 19-year-old in Singapore. This time, you're in for a treat. Senior Master Instructor Chris Thomas is teaching some pressure point basics. During the training, Master Thomas mentions another great martial artist, Seiyu Oyata, one of George Dillman's instructors. For a little history of Oyata Sensei, check out V3P1 Supplemental.
First biomechanical rule. It's one of the very first things I was taught. No one can keep you from bending your own elbow. Okay? Now, you all know this, but we're going to review the basics again. Jeff, you just stood up, so you're going to be my uke. No matter how he grabs two hands, really strong guy, he cannot keep me from bending my own elbow. So I bend my elbow, and you always bend into your own strength. You bend into yourself and out, and look, there's a target. In case anyone is wondering, this looks like the kata seisan. So you can't get more basic than that. But we also just set up a pressure point. Is Dave Hennef Sr. here? There you are. Dave, come here. I'm going to regret this. Dave literally has the strongest hands I've ever... It's cool. It's just... I'm going to do this with Dave. It's going to be really hard for me to do. I'm still going to succeed, but my fingers are going to go numb. Yeah, these are the strong... Now, look. Okay? You have no idea how strong this man is. But I was still able to do it because I could bend this way, move down into my strength. See how I'm using everything now? My legs. Oh. Okay? See, I want you to know this is a sound principle of biomechanics. You can bend your elbow when a really strong person grabs vice grip on your arms. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that if, say, my daughter April were grabbed by Dave, that she would be able to do this. Because, I mean, there's a point where somebody is just way too strong. But what I'm saying is you can overcome a huge strength difference by understanding this very basic starting principles. Okay. Now, I want to make a point, because what we're doing is training in basics to learn basic skills. If he has grabbed me with two hands, I don't have to do anything. I mean, I just want to make this point. Even what I'm having you do right here, this is a great technique. And see the vulnerability it creates, and you can just see how that punch works. And I would recommend that if, say, he was pulling, he's like grabbing and pulling, because it makes it really easy. But in this situation where I'm just being grabbed, somebody who doesn't want me to leave, but they're not trying to take me anywhere, I don't have to bend my elbow. I just have to do this, and I've pinned 3 out of 4 of his limbs. And I can beat the living snot out of him So I just want to, I want you to understand the distinction between a practice technique and something that you would do in the real situation. I don't want you to think that the defense against the two-hand grab is, the defense against the two-hand grab, this is the defense. Pin to your body, pin the foot, and then smack them on the, I would say, the nose point. But what this allows us to do now is it allows us to understand principle stuff. So we bend the elbow. I use first a biomechanical principle. To train the principle, first thing we do is we're going to do this. All right? I now have mechanical advantage. Here's the next thing we're going to do. There's this rule in pressure points. We call it systemic compromise. What it really means is every pressure point on a meridian, the organ that's associated with that meridian, and all of that energetic quality, that whole energetic process becomes vulnerable. When you attack a point on a meridian, other points on that meridian and a particular organ become vulnerable. So that means whatever we do, we want to do it, we're going to try to double up on the meridian. The meridian we're going to double up on is triple warmer. On the back of your arm, right about the place where I was being grabbed before, you know, in demonstrating. So knowing that now, right here, there's a place where the meridian is kind of vulnerable because it does a little zigzag. If you get a chance, someone here has, oh yeah, you do. There you go. If you get a chance, just walk over and take a look at the little acupuncture dummy. That's the one I call Eve. There's a boy version, I call that Adam. And you can see it. It's Sanjiao 456, I think, just above the wrist. Is that right, 456? 6, 7, 8?
6, 7.
6, 7. Yeah, you get this little zigzag. 3 points. It goes one, dunk, dunk, like that. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fingers and push across the zigzag. So everything else is the same. I come up like this. I'm just going to take those fingers and I push like that. See what, and right away you can already see what that's starting to do. There it is, right there. Now, one of the things that I've done here is, and I've done this very, very intentionally, the next point we go to, that's usually where things start. Most people go, watch, here's a point, we use this, look at how this works, and it teaches a lot of stuff about pressure points. But Sensei Dillman always, always, always would say, and this is really part of the private conversation that we would have at dinner or off to the side afterwards, because a lot of people would come to seminars and go, oh, this is really, and then they'd leave. The smart people hung around. The secret to a seminar is hang around after and don't necessarily ask questions, because there'll be 8 other people asking questions. Just listen. And then after you've heard a lot of other people asking questions, by that point, you're in a place to, if there is a question left for you to ask, you're in a place to ask a really good question, which gets you, you know, good question. And that's always a good thing, because you get noticed when you ask a good question. In those less public moments, Dillman Sensei would always say, watch my other hand. Watch my other hand. Everyone was looking at the out hand. He would always say, watch the other hand. Watch what I'm doing. I just showed you the other hand. We started with the other hand. We started that basic. So now we're going to do the obvious hand. So when he grabs, I don't pick a wrist, I don't care. Okay, here we go. So this, we use 2 points to make a wonderful observation in how pressure points work. 1 point is just above the tip of the elbow. It's actually not 1 point, it's actually 2 points. It's actually a large intestine 10 and 11. They're about a ½ inch apart. We usually just pick one. I think we just call it, I'm not large intestine, sorry, triple warmer. I think we just call it triple warmer 10 or triple warmer 11, but it's really the 2 points side by side. It's just easier to name the one than the two. And but it makes the point that pressure points are sometimes activated by rubbing, not necessarily by hitting. And then there's another point higher up on the tricep. This is triple warmer 12. And that's a hit point, and it doesn't rub it, doesn't work very good. So do me a favor, make your arm, go ahead, let's just keep it in this position. Make it strong. Yeah, give me a little more open. There we go, right about like that. Now I'm going to beat on your elbow for a minute. This actually hurts me to do this. Oh, okay, come over here so get a different angle so the camera can see this. Ow. Okay? Right? I can't make his elbow loosen up that way. It won't respond. So a lot of times people teach, hit the elbow with your arm. You can if you want to hurt yourself. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So if I want to get his arm to go by hitting, I don't hit at the elbow. I hit up here in the middle of the joint, and I'm going to teach you the cheat. The direction is right into the bone. It's in the sort of the hollow part of the triceps. Direction's right into the bone, but I hit it with a little upward hook, and okay, and let's see, right here. And what you want to pay attention to, I'm trying to angle here for camera, is watch what happens to his shoulder. Now see, he's in look at this position. He's like, and Ben, I don't want you, right? But watch what happens to his shoulder. See the shoulder go? It's the shoulder. It's the shoulder that comes out. Bang. I'm actually releasing the shoulder, and once the shoulder releases, then the elbow releases. So that's that point. If I want the elbow to release, I have to find that spot just above the elbow knob, and I have to rub it, and I rub it back and forth. Unfortunately, I'm right-handed, and I hate doing this on my left hand. There you go. Okay. Right here, see? Just rub. Okay, understand? Rub the point. Now what you're doing is you have pressure point 10 and 11, and you're actually going between them. But that area of the body doesn't react to hitting. It only reacts to rubbing. This area of the body doesn't react to rubbing. I'm going to go up to triple warmer 12. And again, he is in the worst possible position. And you would never try to do an elbow technique here, because let me look where he is. Oh, okay. Right? He just gave me the chicken wing. Why would I go for the elbow strike? But just so you can see, I'm going to, okay? Oh. Right? That's a hit point, not a rub point. Sorry. That's all right. Okay. I'm here. Now, after you do this with your partner today, you're gonna rub on triple warmer 11. You're gonna hit triple warmer 12, and then you're gonna massage it out very, very nicely. If you're paying attention, you want to push up. The direction of flow of energy is up on this meridian, up towards the head. Circle, I always just say, I start in a circle, and then while I'm doing the circle, I go, which way does that meridian go again? And then I go that way. What you just did was, to quickly review, you were using the principle that says you follow the meridian line, you follow the system. So you did the setup on triple warmer, the other hand, and then you worked the pressure points. And now some of you were doing automatically a piece, which is called two-way action. But I want to emphasize this, and then I want to mention something which I literally learned 3 minutes ago. So here's right? If I just grab his gi and go, it's very difficult for me, but if I pull and push, that's two-way action, pull and push. Now, there's another principle, which is the one where we confuse the joint. That means you go in more than one direction. So watch. I'm trying to straighten the joint, so I think pull and push, but he can still resist this. He can fight. He can recapture. So before I do that, I'm going to rotate this way. See how I twisted a joint in a different direction. So I'm not, this is not pressure points. I can't help but get a little pressure point, but I'm not primarily doing pressure points here. I grab onto his gi. I go like this before I pull push. Okay? Now I'm still just using physicality here, but you see that I was able to manhandle him, or in my case, manhandle him, just using biomechanical principles. If I do those as I'm doing my pressure point technique, then my pressure point technique is, well, easier. Now here's the thing I just learned 3 minutes ago. This, the way it goes is that there's a shad right over there, wave shad, Shad trains with me, but he's also friends with and had trained some years ago with a guy who's, I won't name, but who's a student of, say, Oyata's. And so Shad will train, you know, pretty regularly with them too. And he's going, I can't, how did he keeps doing the elbow locks. How did he do it? Well, he learned, and this is how Oyata taught it so that they could always do it. We'll stay on the same side. You know, you come in and I'm going to put you in an arm bar. And it's just hard. It's just hard to do because he's in balance. So say Oyata says first unbalance him, and all you have to do is pop your elbow right there. Just so happens that it's small intestine, but you know, we don't care about that. We don't care that it's another yang fire point that we're hitting, that the yang fire system is being kind of activated here. That's not important. The thing is, we just want to unbalance. Unbalance first. Because he can fight me if he's in balance, but it's hard for him to fight me when he's out of balance. So now, if I go back to no pressure points, but I use that concept, I go unbalanced, two-way action. Okay? Sorry. My knee was right on his knee. I couldn't resist. So all I want you to do now with somebody you haven't worked with, you're starting from the same place. First, I just want you to grab and go pull, push. Not too hard, because you can actually wrench that elbow. I just want you to get the feeling. Then I want you to go rotate, pull, push. And you go, ooh, that's easier. And then I want you to go unbalance, rotate, pull, push. And work your way through that.
I highly recommend watching the V3P1 supplemental for more information about Oyata Sensei. Remember to be careful if you try these techniques at home. You want to make the technique work, but you don't want to injure your friend. And we aren't responsible for any injuries that may occur. Send email to explorer@martialartsexplorer.tv. For Martial Arts Explorer and Michael Kleinebeer, I'm Scott Combs.